The 1960s. Don Levine, president of Hasbro, is enjoying his day as he strode past an art store, seeing a mannequin that sparked the idea that would change the landscape for fun for young boys, and toys period for that matter. Mr. Potato Head, using real potatoes, Play-Doh, Frisbee, School Bus, Matchbox, and Gumby were all the rage at the time. As far as action figures, all you pretty much had was little plastic, non-articulated cowboys and Indians or army men. Wow, how fun. Then in 1964, a guy named Joe Coton hit the scene that will be the year forever remembered by genuine figure collectors as the birth year of the action figure, at 11.5 inches at that. Then, in 1972, DC, Marvel, and Planet of the Apes released 8-inch figures with the company Mego, and they did pretty well. In 1975 came the $6 Million Man at 13 inches. And then 1976 brought Micro Man, or as you might know, Micronauts. At a smaller 3.75 inches, they were a game changer for the cut of cost to the distributor. Then soon after, the historical Kenner Star Wars line hit shelves and blew open the figure floodgate, so to speak. Though at first, they sold empty boxes with the promise of figures once produced. In the 80s, the golden years some would say, as Mego struggled to stay alive, Mattel started a line at the 5.5-inch scale that took off like a rocket, that we know as He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. With almost completely uniform body modes and fair production costs, He-Man was here to stay. At this time, DC released their new Superpowers figures with action moves, not knowing that Hasbro had a plot cooking that would again change the game. In came the 3.75-inch G.I. Joes with more articulation and a wide group of characters to choose from. Thundercats, Ghostbusters, and Transformers all fell in line around this time, with cartoons and comics to accompany the toy lines so you could act out your favorite episodes. This spawned the era of the Turtles. The 88 to mid-90s time, nothing could touch the 4 karate kick throwing turtles. Around this time, the late 80s I mean, is when you started to see not only kids buying action figures, but there was an influx of adults buying them, purely as an investment. And also at this time began the oversaturation of the figure market. With every company looking for the next big toy, we started to see tons of figure lines, and some of them we could have done without. In humanoids, visionaries, and cops, just to name a few. With every toy company out there producing tons of products and sending them to tons of stores, after time it started to create an issue. A ton of products in the stock room, and they aren't all selling. The 90s and 2000s started the beginning of the figure implosion. Store ordering stock and being stuck with it, most of it due to falling sales, because if everyone can get everything from everywhere, then it creates a watered down market, which I believe we're all paying for now. Let me explain. I'll jump to the biggest headache in collecting right now, which is G.I. Joe Classified. Man, where do I start? The first Joes to the 1989 sets sold at a great rate, but after 89, oh man, things started to go into damage control. Rapidly releasing various designs and remakes of the same characters, hoping for a win. Basically throwing everything at a wall to see what sticks. Into the age of less to no vehicles and gimmicks to try and attract more kids. Things like Eco Warriors with squirting cannons, silly sound effects backpacks that don't come off, paper airplanes, Play-Doh features, dinosaur hunters, etc. Ushering in the time we thought wouldn't come. In 1994, the line that started it all was dead. Until 1995 and the release of the 12-inch G.I. Joe. With Duke, Snake Eyes, Cobra Commander, Stalker, Destro, they had gone back to the drawing board to try and recharge the sales of their flagship toy. And yes, I'm purposely skipping the Sergeant Savage line from 1994. Between 95 and 2000, they had the Anniversary line that was a total debacle. Then 2000 to 2004 was various releases based on particular themes, then to the Toys R Us exclusives in 2006. Sigma from '05 to '07 at 8-inch. 2008 was the Resolute, accompanied by an animated movie. And then came 2009 in Rise of Cobra. It was a dark time for G.I. Joe, a very dark time. There also was a Renegade line that I never looked into for myself, but from my slight investigation, they were okay. 2014, things happened. All of that to try and resuscitate a toy line on its deathbed to not have it recover. And now to where we currently are, classified. This new revamp of the line will be accompanied by a video game in which the figures' designs were based off of, trying to acknowledge the retro figures while modernizing them at the same time. Oh, but this time they had a plan. No overstocking stores with hopes to sell off product, not now. Now was a more foreign business model. Start off with Duke, Snake Eyes, Scarlet, Roadblock, Destro, and Cobra Commander with updated designs, trying to stay true to the old designs of the real American hero age. Some nostalgia junkies didn't feel the new designs were close enough to the old designs, but nonetheless they bought them up. Starting out with little shipments to test the waters, and the piranhas did not disappoint, me included. I don't think the collector nor Hasbro were ready for the fallout. Along with that first burst, there were the dreaded Target exclusives in the form of Baroness with the motorcycle, Beachhead, and the Cobra Trooper. With most having some experience in the realm of Target exclusives, with the likes of Marvel Legends and Star Wars Black Series, we knew what was coming. Camping out of stores, hitting multiple targets in a day, checking inventory lines constantly, disputes with employees, misinformation, racing to beat the resellers before they buy up all the cases of the figures. And oh yes, the madness ensued, with aftermarket immediately hitting the sky with $20 figures going to $60, with no sign of dropping, and the sparse droplets of inventory didn't help, yet amongst it all, Hasbro and Target sell out of stock before it can be pulled off the truck. And the fact that they have already mentioned releases of the variants of the exclusives that are so elusive for general purpose shows it's all deliberate. And now we're in the midst of a Viper/Firefly shitstorm with what I'm sure are future releases to also be store exclusives. The problems are just starting.